Lite, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, the name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Jmels24, Unimento, Iron26, Endless, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Ahmed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster. Massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll see how Duffy and them respond to how Earth is measured flat. The video of Master B.
Are you going to do the Will Duffy video tonight, Nathan?
That's
I
the
hope he
one that we
doesn't.
said we'd do yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
In Master B.
It goes for 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Where is it?
In Master
Surf
B.
Daddy. Okay. You star in it, so it should be. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments because you get plenty of mention in it.
Is it the one that you posted, Neil?
Yes.
Final experiments.
It's the one.
Okay.
Balloon experiments.
Earth's measured round. He says that plenty of times. And it's funny, though, every time he claims that, he's using meters or kilometers to prove it.
Yep. Right from Jump Street. The only way you could do it. I mean, what are you going to do?
Cool, yeah, we'll cover that on the live show. Was there something else?
Nah, I think that'll be sufficient. This is their first shot at it, you know?
What's Liam posted? Any idea what this is?
No, I didn't see anything he posted. I'll take a look.
Just above your message. Shall I read this from Divergent Droid? It's about me. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I should read it in advance of reading it out loud. But I can only assume it'll be complimentary from Divergent Droid. Have you read this?
I have not.
I was thinking about all John Stunyer and Nathan Oakley actually do. They teach critical thinking concerning the topics around Flat Earth. Critical thinking and discernment go hand in hand. You can teach critical thinking, but I don't know that you can teach discernment. It appears some people have an innate ability to discern and others will never get it. I'm so sick of seeing pseudoscience everywhere I look. I talk to a lot of people and wow, are people ignorant these days. They cannot see what's happening around them. I think some course should be written to teach the masses how to think so that they can discern fact from fallacy, science from pseudoscience. I think this group has the best ability to create such a group based on this group can do it right in capitals or capitalized. Is that the title of the group he wants? This group can do it right. I think that might be the title of the group. Anyway, we don't even have to maintain flat earth specifically, but give people the tools so they can see the truth of the matter when it is presented to them. Main thing is it will free the people of many areas of their lives where they are being manipulated. They will thank us all the more once they discover the truth of our realm. I don't know if I agree with that last. I agreed right up until the last sentence.
Yeah, me too. What's a realm?
No, nothing to do with the realm. That's not the bit I disagree with. They will thank us. No, they won't.
What'd you say? Well, I didn't hear that, Nathan. Go back.
They will thank us, he says, once they discover the truth of our realm.
Oh, yeah. You think so?
No.
I think they will hate us.
Yeah, very interesting. I posted above. I just didn't know why Liam was responding. Anyway, very good.
But those that listen and understand what you're saying and have an open mind to facts would thank you. I'd be one of them. I thank FED. Otherwise, all that's out there's just a whole heap of crap. You guys really lay things out straight, and I appreciate it.
Awesome. I hope the book has as much impact on you, on others, as the show has had on you. That's all the book is.
Yeah, can't
Brian
wait for the book.
Summarised it really well. He was like, what the book summarises is what Flat Earth debate has done over the last 10 years, where we've come from, and a concise summary of all subject matters covered to conclusion in Flat Earth debate. And that was a pretty good summary, I would have said, by Brian, who has sat in on many of the editing sessions, so he knows he's got a good handle on what the book is and what it's about.
That's correct. I think this thing, Liam, it's political concerning you guys in Britain. I was just reading it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What Liam posted.
What did he post? I just read the message from Divergent Droid. I didn't read what Liam actually put.
Nah, it's a whole political thing with England. It starts out about we need to restore Britain, a movement for those who believe that we need to fundamentally change the way Britain is governed. And then it's a lot of words. So let's restore Britain. That's what it's all about.
Whatever. Empty
What's
sentiment.
going on in Britain that you got to restore it?
I have no idea. It sounds like empty sentiment to me. That's why I don't pay attention.
You don't get into the politics at all. I give you credit for that.
No.
They all read from the same script anyway, correct?
Yeah.
People are so easily manipulated. I see it before my eyes with my own wife. She'll hear what they want her to hear, and she'll brace against truth. Very troubling. Meanwhile, everybody in my house is sick except me. From pneumonia to everybody with upper respiratory.
Waiting on an important parcel. Important because something in it's sold already.
Microphone?
Yeah, obviously, but it's just the fact that it's 3 days late. It was due on Saturday. Very irritating.
For the first time yesterday, my car didn't start. It took like 5 times to try and turn it over, then it finally turned over. So I tell you what, it's like when it rains, it freaking pours, man.
Maz has just gone through its MOT successfully, and then immediately a sensor failed a day later. Hey ho.
And those sensors, because I know I need an oxygen sensor. When my brother-in-law gave it to me, he gave me the sensor. He said he didn't have time to put it in. But he said that has to do with the emissions, which they don't freaking inspect over here in Alabama. So it means nothing to me. See, in New York, you would have to get car inspected, and the check engine light was on. You were not passing. So you would have to change that oxygen sensor.
Yeah, but it affects how the engine runs. It's not just
It
emissions.
does, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. The engine's taking data from that sensor. So for me, it passed emissions, no worries. Got through the MOT, and when we dropped it in, we were like, the engine light's coming intermittently on and off. And they're like, well, it actually was off when we did the test, and it passed emissions, no problem. Day later, the light comes back on, and it's because the O2 sensor's gone wrong. And what that means is when you put your foot down, it goes wrong. It feels lumpy. It's measuring the wrong amounts of stuff coming out the arse end of the car. It can't regulate the engine correctly as a result.
I got another good movie you like, F1 with Brad Pitt. The new movie, but I got to watch it yesterday. I think you'll like it. You
Yeah, I
got a
like race
British
car
guy in
movies.
there.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's all in got a lot of United Kingdom actors there. It's good. You'll like it.
Jolly good.
What we
Like
need is
you're inside the car, so you can actually see what it feels like. I mean, those guys go at crazy speeds, man.
Yeah, if you ever, there's a short where it shows for the various different cars going through the bends, like all the different stages of what would you call it? Below F1. Yeah, Group C and all those different cars, and they show all the different styles going through a particular bend. And by the time it gets to F1, they're just the speed they're carrying through the bends is just like nothing else. Nothing comes
Yeah.
close. Because it really isn't the straight line acceleration, although F1 cars are really quick. I'm sure there's quicker stuff out there, you know what I mean? To accelerate it. But that's not what it's all about. It's about carrying that speed through the bends.
That's what the whole movie's about.
What about going quickly through bends?
No, they cannot compete with the speed of Ferrari and McLaren because they're in the apex. So just watch it. You'll like it. You get it on that thing I sent you. Type in F1 and you will get it.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I'll check it out.
I think the guy that's in No Country for Old Men, that Latino guy, he's in it too. Like he puts the team together. It's his baby, but it's definitely a good flick, man. You'll like it because it. I think it's pretty. Well, you'll know better than me, but I think they're pretty much accurate on everything.
Yeah, I'm just slightly distracted, stressing about a bag that is due. Oh, I said already,
What's
didn't
due?
I bought a set of 7 mics, like a drum mic set. It's all coming as one, complete set. So if it doesn't turn up, that's going to be expensive. Not only will I not get the stuff I've bought, one of it's already sold, and I'll have to refund it, which is extremely irritating.
Oh, that's the one you're waiting on now.
Yeah, and sod's law, everything else that I've ordered that hasn't sold has come. Hopefully it'll come today. I went down to the sorting office this morning to say, like, where is it? And they were like, well, it's not here, so hopefully it's out in the van and be delivered today. And they took my phone number in case it comes back to the sorting office later today. So hopefully I'll get it. We'll see.
Well, it seems like with this Duffy video and Randy's nonsense, they're trying to get ahead of the book. What are they afraid of?
I don't know, I don't care. So long as it generates a revenue stream. There's an overlap where I'm so close to making profit on microphones. I've worked really hard. Yeah. But obviously each time I've sold something, I've pumped a little bit more money back into a bit of stock, so I've got more stuff to sell through this tough time while we finish off the book. And yeah, I'm about 100 and... What did I say earlier? Did I say 120 or 130? 120 quid off actually making a profit. So I've still got about 120 quid of my own money pumped into microphones. So I'm down. So 3 months ago, I'm like, I need to do something to make sure I've got a revenue stream. I'll spend £600. Well, I'm
You're
100.
still in the red.
Yeah, but I'm almost back in the black. Like, I'm 120 quid off being back in the black. And it's taken £3,000 or more than that, about £3,500 in sales to get to the point where I'm almost in making a profit with stuff in stock to keep me going for the next couple of months while we finish off this book. I just don't want to be financially pressured to pressure QE. So, for instance, on Monday, it was too hot to work. I agree with Adam, but he was like, can't do any editing today. It's too hot to work. I'm like, okay. I don't want to be in a position where I'm like, you must do it now. I need this done, right? I can't put it out with grammatical errors. I can't put it out with chunks that haven't been looked over. I need you to do this. Come on. I don't want to be in a position to put that on Adam, or QE for that matter. And I'm not, because of doing the microphone endeavour. So it means that the end product can be that much more polished without me saying, come on, let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done. I need the money. I do. But in the meantime, there is something that is, like I say, dangerously close to actually keeping me in a house, keeping the mortgage paid. But I'm
Keep
so close.
griping about the mics, though, Nathan. Keep griping about how hard the microphones are to do. They will work because that'll drive them away if they start saying, "Come on, we got to get it done," right? That'll scatter them instead of unite them.
I don't really understand. Me struggling to pay the mortgage isn't really something that's going to scatter any ball tards. I don't really know what you're talking about.
No. I'm talking about Adam and QE. If you say, "Come on, we got to get this book done," like you were just saying, you can't do that. Yeah, of course, because that'll push them away instead of bringing them together to finish the book.
Exactly. And I haven't got the money to pay somebody to go through this and edit it for me. So I need them. You know what I mean? I need them to do this. And I need them to be on side, willing and happy doing it. Which they are currently. But if, like I say, there was a financial pressure upon them off the back of me going, I need the money. I'm going to be turfed out. I'm going to run out of money. Let's get it done. Let's get it on the shelves. It would come out as an inferior product, wouldn't it?
Yes, but today's another session, and another chunk will be done. The last one was great. I enjoyed that one. That whole science and pseudoscience and natural law. That's a great chapter. It's going to be so edifying to the reader.
Yes, they're all great chapters. Doesn't alter that I do want it done. You know what I mean? I am pretty sick of selling microphones. I don't, want to do it anymore. It's just a means to an end.
It's getting closer.
Say again?
It's getting closer. And then, when you're going through it again, it's not going to be like Huey's saying we got to go through it, reread it again. But the changes are not going to be like they are now. I mean, you'll be changing your own work. So it's going to be less and less. It'll be out there. I put in my mind, I'm thinking by end of summer, fall, right around that area. Or even if it's before the holidays, that would be perfect. Not for you, because you still got to sell microphones.
Well, that's fine. I'm set up though. I've done all the hard work. I've got stock. So up until now, like, I've been struggling to get stuff into stock, like keep stuff flowing. So I've got things to flog to keep them bank balance topped up. Well, I've got it all now. It's all sat around me, cluttering the place up. But that means I can just sit here and just post them rather than getting up at 6 a.m. and looking for stuff to buy. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to buy anything else. I think I'm all right. I've got about 70 items, 75 items, or 75 listings. It's about 85, 90 items to sell. That's enough. That'll sustain me for a good couple of months. Not sustain me, bolster what I get from ad revenue that's depleted slightly since TFE, basically. They want to create an impression that everyone's walking away from Flat Earth. So that means I've been censored to within an inch of not being on YouTube.
Well, that's the whole plan. Get this show off the air by any means necessary.
But we're a thorn in the side of TFE, are we? Because we talk about measurements. Is that what we're coming to say?
Absolutely.
Tell us more.
I haven't heard it. I'm waiting to hear what you guys. But from what I'm hearing from Surf Daddy and other people is, your name's coming up. They use flat Earth measurements. They use our stuff like everybody else does, but they try to portray it like they're measuring a globe.
Okay, well, let's level it up.
Welcome to the final experiments.
Final experiments. Was the last final experiment not final then, Duffy, you dickhead?
The final experiments are a
plural.
preponderance of evidence against flat Earth.
Really? I thought science was empirical. Yeah, you need more of them, do you? You need a couple more. Wasn't empirical enough. Yeah, it's a preponderance, after all. There was me thinking science offered empirical evidence. Not at all, though, right? Need a preponderance. Need more. I don't. When I say Earth is measured flat, I say it's not even an argument. It's just a statement of fact. I don't need anything. I don't need to say Earth's flat. Who cares? I mean, literally, now I know that's the case. Who cares? Now, you dickheads, you still need to sit around making your stupid final experiments videos. Because this is greatly consequential to you bunch of dicks, isn't it?
And the final experiments all confirm
Nathan.
the globe.
Yes.
They gotta keep it like there's science involved. You understand? That's what they're trying to do. Science still has to be involved, even though we know it has nothing to do with it.
I see why you say that you enjoyed doing that last section of the book, because that's what we're covering past tense when we did that section of the book, which is hijacking science, greasing the skids by utilising terminologies used when describing natural laws, descriptions in other words, hijacking that methodology, the describing stuff methodology as opposed to the empirical science methodology, to make your just so story make a bit more sense. And if it doesn't quite hit home, then you need a bit more just so story. Call it a preponderance. A preponderance of just so stories called experiments. If they were, they'd be final. They would genuinely be final because they'd be empirical.
Globe. These experiments were all conducted in December of 2024 when 4 flat earthers and 4 globers went on a journey to Antarctica with me, Will Duffy. We spent time in Punta Arenas, Chile, which is at the south.
What experiments did he do? I don't remember seeing any experiments. There's quite a few flat Earth measurements. They measured elevation angles to the sun. One of your participants, Will, called me. Yeah? Did you know? I'm pretty sure you heard my name being screamed because you weren't more than 20 yards away from it while it happened. Yeah? I tried to, quote, deflect with measurements, apparently, according to one of the participants. Now, you weren't doing experiments. And what was yelled in the snow was, he tried to deflect with measurements. Your measurements, the ones that were taken down in Antarctica, down being south, a flat Earth only direction.
Southern tip of South America before flying to Antarctica. This entire trip allowed us to conduct historic experiments.
No, you made measurements of a flat Earth, like elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours after referencing a plane, measuring a downward orientation for weight with a scale that's been leveled to a plane of reference, perpendicular to a horizontal plane. You measured Earth flat, Duffy. That's what you actually did. Now, when I pointed that out to one of your participants who measured Earth flat, maybe you were calling that an experiment incorrectly because you're a retard. Nevertheless, I'll quote what I was told. After the fact, because he put the phone down on me, he couldn't cope with me pointing this out to him. Click. He tried to deflect with measurements! That doesn't sound much like experiments. That sounds like someone who was actually in the midst of doing this, whilst there with you, screaming my frickin' name into the snow, because I, quote, tried to deflect, with measurements. Now that's what you were doing. None of them were experiments, they were measurements, that's what got yelled into the snow alongside my name. Asking about guns or something. Very amusing stuff.
And collect data firsthand from
data, like elevation angle measurement data. Yeah, Brian pointed it out to Toon also. He got very cross, like waving the flat Earth elevation angle data at Brian. It was really amusing.
From an area of the world that few people will ever have the opportunity to visit
and measure Earth flat there. Yeah, man, very few people get to get a phone call from somebody who's down in Antarctica via Skylink to tell them about the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that they've made to the sun, proving Earth's measured flat by your participants. Have you addressed this by any chance? I mean, like I say, your participants screamed my name so loud that you will have heard it, Duffy. What was he screaming about? The flat Earth measurements that you took down there. The ones that, quote, were tried to be deflected with? Have you addressed this? Does anybody know? Has Duffy addressed the, quote, tried to deflect with measurements, end quote? Anybody know if he's addressed this at all? The measurements?
No, he has not addressed it.
Duffy, according to one of your participants, I tried to deflect with the flat Earth elevation angle measurements. I put it to that participant no less than 100 times. I've documented all of them. I counted them off. The 100th time was when he proactively contacted me from Antarctica. Yeah, he called me. Yeah, that's what he did. Called me to tell me after putting the phone down that I'd tried to deflect with measurements, end quote, yelled into the snow. You would have heard it, Duffy. You'd have been there, right next to him, when he was screaming my name. Now, maybe you didn't hear it. Are you deaf? Did you not hear my name screamed into the snow, Duffy? I'm going to expect you address this. Fact. You measured Earth flat there, dum-dum.
And do this themselves.
What, elevation angle measure? We could do that ourselves?
Prior to my announcement of the final experiment in early...
Sorry, was that singular? Prior to your announcement of the final experiment, singular? Wanker, is it just me, or are you now changing it from a final experiment that sounds very final, singular, to the experiments that I laughed out loud at you for at the beginning? So no longer an experiment singular now, you need more of them, preponderance required. I don't need any preponderance. Fact, Toon measured Earth flat there. Fact, Jaren measured Earth flat there. Fact, Dave McKeegan measured Earth flat there.
Early 2024, a vast majority of flat earthers, with very few exceptions, promoted the Gleason's map of the world.
Did we? No, we said it was a false dichotomy, didn't we? We said it was an affirming the consequent on both sides when using the Gleason's map that Jaren also debunked with me. Now, he obviously hasn't mentioned that to you, that it was already debunked. Now, I've fallen out with wankers like Dave Weiss over promoting this shite as a flat earther. I'm sure that didn't get mentioned either.
Which is an azimuthal equidistant projection.
Of a globe. So this is not a flat earth map, it's an azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection. And the globe that it's projected from came from measurements of stars with elevation angles. Same ones that I tried to deflect with.
This map had the North Pole at the center and pushed the south to the outer perimeter of the known world. This made Antarctica an ice wall perimeter around all the world's continents, which served to hold in all the world's oceans.
No. That's what it did on a map when you projected it azimuthally. The North Pole centric azimuthal globe projection pushed it to the outside edge. It doesn't hold in any water. That's a reification fallacy. Retard. Reification. Fallacious dick.
Oceans, as flat earthers claim, water must have a container.
Sorry, the stereotyping fallacy. Water requires a container. The azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection is a globe projection. So we'd have to look at where the globe projection came from in terms of its measurements, not whether or not you suggest by stereotype fallacy that I reify a bowl. No, I don't. Absolutely not. What I do is tell your participants while they're there that they measured Earth flat. That's what I did. My name got screamed into the snow for it. No mention of me. I'm a flat earther that got my name screamed into the snow after you and your participants proactively contacted me from there. I don't use this map. I'm the only one that got called from Antarctica. Yeah? What, to rub my nose in the flat earth measurement of a 24-hour sun? I don't subscribe to this. So your stereotyping fallacy. Was there anybody else's flat earth name yelled into the snow by McToon, by the way? Just me? Yeah, I'm going to say that given my name was the only flat earth name yelled into the fucking snow, that you're going to address me and my 100 times telling Toon he measured Earth flat. Not that we got a bowl on this globe projection that's made with flat earth elevation angle measurements of the stars. The same ones that I point out to Toon he's measuring a flat earth with in Antarctica. So was Keegan. So was Jaren. So are you.
It also extends the entire southern hemisphere.
What now? The hemisphere is a projected view based on flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the stars and parallel sky through a protractor that creates a hemispherical dome vision view when projected into a model. That model can complete itself with a south and north view of the flat ground and flat sky that's measured with a protractor for both situations, north and south. They can then be in a model, placed on top of each other, antipodal from one another, to create what is called the celestial sphere. And then you can map positions from a plane through a globe to those points on the celestial hemisphere for North Pole-centric azimuthal equidistant projections. For example, they'll require latitude measured off a flat plane with elevation angles. The same angles Toon measured off a flat Earth in Antarctica, and so did you, and so did Dave McKeegan, and so did Jaron the Shill. Yeah, you all measured Earth flat, the same way that the globe projection got created, to then later be projected onto this azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric projection you say by stereotype I've got as a bowl? No, I haven't. You're a liar. My name was screamed into the snow, but you want to stereotype flat earthers? Except for the one who got his name screamed into the snow. He doesn't say this. It wasn't said by Duffy because he's a charlatan. A scumbag. A disingenuous, hell-bound scumbag.
Into a larger and larger area where on the globe, everything south of the equator.
You don't have everything south of any equator on a globe. South is a flat earth direction, you complete numpty. Point south, you complete retard. Is that downwards? Let me do it for my audience so we're clear what we're talking about. That's south. Yeah? We all understand. That's not south. Look at a compass, you complete retard, Duffy.
Gets closer and closer together. This made being at the southern tip of South America
is on a flat plane. It's a flat earth directionality. South is flat. Look at a compass, you clown. So you're using our stuff, talking about directionalities that are only capable on a flat earth and describing azimuthal equidistant North Pole globe projections that have come from angles measured off a flat earth. The same ones that got my name screamed into the Antarctic, alleged Antarctic snow. We don't know if you were there. Apparently you were there with a special effects expert alleging to be a flat earther. Not that it matters. If you measured this angle in a tent to a pretend sun on a load of tellies, it would still be a flat earth elevation angle measurement. If you actually were in Antarctica, maybe you were, you might not be, you seem like a charlatan, so I don't really believe anything you say. But even if I take it as read that you were in Antarctica, as you allege to be, then you're still measuring a flat earth with elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours. Like I pointed out to Toon, for the 100th time! What's that? I can still hear it echoing in the Antarctic abyss. He tried to deflect with measurements.
And in Antarctica, the perfect place to test flat Earth claims.
No, you didn't test any flat Earth claims, you made flat Earth measurements. You weren't testing Jack when you measured a flat Earth with elevation angles to the sun. You just measured a flat Earth.
And also confirm
a flat Earth with elevation angles.
The globe predictions.
Sorry, globe predicts that you're going to measure a flat Earth with elevation angles, does it? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking you're first going to need an equatorial plane in the centre of a globe to measure the angles from. That would be a flat plane to stand in a globe for these angle measurements to the sun. Definitely not, Duffy, you retard. You're measuring a flat plane for elevation angles. The only ones that these match up will tally with if you infer sphericity are in a globe, not on a globe. Duffy's a retard and doesn't understand his own heliocentric paradigm, or he'd appreciate the equatorial plane in the globe, not on the globe. Dumbass.
Every single flat Earth claim failed.
I claim that you did, past tense, measure Earth flat with elevation angles. Now, that claim was put to Mucktoon 99 times prior to you getting to Antarctica. It did not fail. It passed with flying colours. The result of me pointing out for the 100th time was your participant hanging up and saying to a cameraman, that's Dave McKeegan, quote, he tried to deflect with measurements. Now, according to your statistics of who went down, that's half the globe believing side discussing my attempt to, quote, deflect with measurements. Keegan knows it. Duffy knows it, and I am in no doubt that you heard my name being screamed into the snow. What else could you have heard? So given that half the globers down there are talking about the deflection to measurements that I apparently did for the 100th time, I'm going to say no, Duffy, you're just a liar. My prediction was you'd measure Earth flat, and it definitely came true. And upon hearing that fact from one of your participants confirming that fact that you measured Earth flat down there, he told an audience of many, many, many more people than I'll ever get that I tried to deflect with measurements. Is that me losing? Is that a prediction failing? I predict you'll measure Earth flat. Oh, there you go, you did. I tried to deflect with that measurement, did I, Duffy? Was that my prediction being wrong? No, but you are a shyster, a charlatan, a con man, a grifter, a liar, a hell-bound scumbag. That's what you are, Duffy, and we all know it. You haven't addressed a single word I've said, even when it was screamed by one of your participants into the Antarctic abyss. You just want to lie. Every claim failed. Really? So you didn't measure flat Earth elevation angles as predicted by me? Liar. Let's get it clear, Duffy's a liar. But according to him, Satan spawn that he is, it's okay to lie. Right, it's all right when you're wrong, right, Duffy? It's okay. You told a church full of people. No, Duffy, you're just a liar. My predictions of you measuring a flat Earth were confirmed for the 100th time by one of your participants. He told one of the other participants down there. Yeah, down being south, a misnomer that's a flat Earth direction. Meanwhile, half the globe participants know I tried to deflect with measurements, end quote. Is that me failing, dickhead? No, it's just you lying, Duffy.
Every flat Earth prediction was demonstrably false.
Really? So false that you would need to measure a flat Earth elevation angle measurement to the sun? No, that was definitely proven true, to the point where your participant went nuts and started screaming my name and saying about guns or something. He went quite nuts. Did you not notice? Did you just blank this out of your mind, Duffy, like it didn't even happen? Now, let's pretend that one of your participants didn't go nuts and start screaming about guns as a direct consequence of my prediction coming true that you'd measure a flat Earth with elevation angles. I'd made the prediction 99 times prior to pointing it out to one of your participants. He shared this prediction with one of the other globe-believing participants, called Dave McKeegan. They definitely know about it, Duffy. It's like you don't seem to understand what's going on in your own, quote, experiments. Yeah? I was talking about what directly happened down there, Duffy. Oh, I forgot. Duffy's a liar. A lying shitbag on his way to hell.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Hello, hello, Discord enthusiasm. I love it, love it. Very good. We're actually halfway through covering a bit of Duffy final experiments, plural. So might as well carry on as we've left off. Check it out if you're a member, if you want to feel the love of what we've covered in the first 2 minutes of this video. If you are watching this live, please let Will Duffy know at the Final Experiment channel, at Nathan Oakley 1980. He sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic censor bots, or indeed Will Duffy, the videographer himself. So there is a link going by, as I say, in the live stream chat as we speak. I'll just put that on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. If you are a member of the live stream audience, please go and let Will Duffy know that we have responded to his video with a polite comment that alludes to that fact. Hopefully, if Will Duffy was to cover us in any way, shape or form, he'd do the same for us and put a link to my video in his response video to this. So share the YouTube algorithmic love, pop along. I'm not saying it for my health if you are watching. I don't know how many people are joining us. We've literally only just started live. But please do actually pop along. And if you're watching on one of the members only or premiering streams, hopefully one of the moderation team will dig out this link and post it in the video when it's not live, as in the pre-recorded version when this goes out after the fact. So yeah, please let Will Duffy know at Nathan Oakley 1980. Send me, as I say, with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots. In the vein, hope that he would do the same for us. Anything anyone wants to add, as we have had a couple of minutes of it in the pre-show, and then I just went live. So does anybody want to add anything before we carry on?
Yes, I do. He's not gonna help you at all, Will Duffy. He's trying to destroy you. So why leave a nice comment and hope that he will help out in some capacity? He's a lying sack of crap.
It's not necessarily me directing it to Will Duffy. It's hard to explain this, but I'll try. Let's say you were watching this show now. So you happen to be Man Loves World YouTube channel. I've just made that up. There's no such channel as far as I'm aware. There probably is, but it's not. I've just attempted to make up a channel name, right? So Man Loves World happens to be watching Flat Earth Debate today. And he happens to have 50,000 subscribers and doesn't cover Flat Earth. He covers self-introspection or philosophy or something like that. I don't know, whatever. And he's watching the show and he sees that I have shared the YouTube algorithmic love with Will Duffy. That is to say, I've put his link and I've directed him, specifically him, the audience member I'm pretending exists, that's got a Man Loves World YouTube channel name. He goes, oh, okay, so Nathan has shared Will Duffy's link, helping the YouTube algorithm favour that videographer as he responds to his video. Good for him. Now, it might not be the case that although I'm suggesting that Will Duffy does the same for me, it imprints that idea, that notion onto that videographer who happens to be watching this critique. Now, when that videographer says, I am actually going to critique what Nathan has said in this video, and, yeah, I should really put a link to his video, only seems reasonable. So it isn't necessarily a direct appeal to Will Duffy to do this. It's an appeal to anybody who's watching that might respond in future. Make sense?
10-4. Continue.
The final experiments are meant to be taken collectively, just like
Final experiments. So what's final about them again?
evidence in a court of law.
So science isn't a court of law, you clown. A court of law is a court of law. Yeah? Where we have beyond reasonable doubt. Yeah? Things like that. This isn't a question that has any doubt. We measure Earth flat. You measure Earth flat. Toon measured Earth flat. I told him for the 100th time. Literally, whilst in Antarctica, contacting me proactively. He stood with 50% of the other globe-believing side, if you're considered neutral in this endeavour, Duffy. He told 50% of the other globe-believing participants that I, Nathan Oakley, who had been screaming my name into the Antarctic snow, I might add, tried to deflect with measurements, end quote. What measurements would they be? They'd be the elevation angle measurements took by all. Now, another claimed to be experiment that was done by the bug-eyed idiot that was down there was to level a scale with respect to a horizontal plane so he could measure a downward orientation perpendicular to it, requiring unequivocally a horizontal plane of reference to be leveled to. So, we've got two claim to be experiments that absolutely without question are not experiments and unequivocally require you measure Earth flat for them. Now, when I point this out to Toon while he's there doing it, he screamed about guns or some shit. That's what he did. He also told, as I say, the other 50% of the globe-believing participants that I tried to deflect with measurements. Maybe you could address that, Duffy.
Undoubtedly, flat earthers will attempt
Stereotyping fallacy to follow. Duffy measured Earth flat. Toon measured Earth flat. Jeren measured Earth flat. McKeegan measured Earth flat. Bug-Eye measured Earth flat. These are statements of fact. I don't need to stereotype this scumbag, do I? I just talk about the measurements they took. Like when Toon phoned me up from Antarctica. You'd have heard my name being screamed there, Duffy. Do you remember? Remember my name being yelled into the Antarctic snow? Yeah? He tried to deflect with measurements! You don't recall that? Yeah?
to discredit individual experiments we did, while at
Discredit them? Au contraire, Duffy! No, I wholeheartedly endorse the elevation angle measurement to the sun, the levelling of a tool with respect to a plane of reference. I mean, I endorse these things. Why stereotype me when I fully endorse every measurement taken? Because every measurement of Earth taken in Antarctica was of a flat Earth. There were no exceptions to that fact. None. Earth was only measured flat in Antarctica. A fact so devastating that it got my name screamed into the Antarctic snow. Where are the guns, Nathan? I don't know, maybe they're with the Antarctic elevation angle measurements. Who knows? Will we ever find out? Who knows? We definitely measured Earth flat down there, though. We'll say we. I'll collectively tar myself with your brush. Oh no, I'm every bit the ball believer when I take the measurements that you take for the ball that you say you've measured. They were flat Earth measurements. I mean, I can't really say I'm a ball believer. I mean, I could. I could lie like you lie. But we measured Earth flat in Antarctica. Didn't we, Duffy? Or do you deny the levelling to a plane of reference or elevation angle measurements with respect to a horizontal plane the observer was standing on when they measured them? Do you deny those measurements that you took down there and called experiments? Now that they're flat Earth measurements, are they no longer measuring the Earth?
at the same time ignoring the rest.
Ignoring the rest of what? Did I ignore the measurement of a perpendicular weight with respect to a plane of reference? Did I ignore that? I'm pretty sure I immediately responded to it live while it was happening. You know what I said while it was happening live, Duffy? I said he's measuring Earth flat, like I just did 25 seconds ago. Same to Antarctica participant number 2. That would be Muktoon, who told me on the phone he was measuring Earth flat for the 100th time. I mean, he tried to deflect with guns or something while I tried to talk about the measurements that you were taking.
If they cannot provide an accurate map of the world...
Sorry, I'm not a cartographer. Why would I be providing maps? I sell microphones. So I can talk down them about how Earth's measured flat in Antarctica by you guys. I just take the measurements that you guys used. Is that okay by you, Duffy? No map required. I'm not a cartographer. I'm not suggesting to have a map. The map that you provided to strawman us with a globe projection that also utilised flat Earth elevation angle measurements. Earth was measured flat for your map. Both of them. The globe one isn't a map. It is utilised to project that azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection that you held up as a straw man flat Earth map. That you're now saying if we haven't got one, what? Earth isn't flat? Why did you measure it flat then with elevation angles if it isn't flat?
And a working model that can account for the results of all of these final experiments collectively.
You didn't do any experiments. You took quite a few flat Earth elevation angle measurements, though. I mean, I don't really need to account for anything. I just say you measured Earth flat and that's kind of the end of the discussion. Because you did. Now, you've got two choices, Duffy. You can deny your own quasi-claim to be experiments when I point out that the measurements, they're not experiments, were flat. Like elevation angle measurements that, what, I tried to deflect with? Maybe your stereotype fails on its arse, you lying scumbag. Yeah, the devil's waiting for you.
That is because we do not live on a flat Earth.
Why did you measure it flat then? Why did you level the tool for measuring weight with respect to a plane of reference the weight is perpendicular to in a downward orientation? You need a flat Earth for that, that's a fact. Not a question, not a debate, a statement of absolute fact, an axiomatic principle used to weigh things. So when you weighed something and called it experiment, you friggin' charlatan, you just weighed something with respect to a plane of reference that you were perpendicular with respect to. These axiomatic principles required Earth be flat. Also, when you measured the elevation angle of the sun for a 24-hour period, that was the degree above the flat surface. It can't be anything other of the flat surface that's measured. It won't give you a degree. So all those numbers with a little circle after, that Toon measured, degrees, they were and can only be flat Earth measurements, Duffy. So I really don't have to provide any map or model, and I don't have to explain any quasi-experiments beyond the actual flat Earth that was measured when doing them. I can also point out that you bunch of charlatans call measurements experiments, and when I point out that those measurements are flat, you start denying that you're measuring Earth. That's what happens. So do you do that, Duffy? That's what I've had in the past from other shithead charlatans like yourself. Do you deny measuring Earth flat with elevation angles, Duffy? Do you deny the plane of reference that the weight was perpendicular to? Because if you deny them, you haven't got any experiments, because they're the base principles used in your charlatan lies of experimentation. They're just flat Earth measurements that a charlatan, you, are claiming are experiments they're not. And for my audience's benefit, I'll detail what an experiment is. It's the elucidation of a hypothesis, the actualization of cause and effect suppositional reasoning based on natural phenomena observed. So step 1, observe natural phenomena. Step 2, formulate a suppositional statement, if and then in nature. Step 3, actualize your if and then statement to see if it's true or not. If it is not true, you affirm or confirm the null hypothesis zero difference result as correct. Empirically validated. If you cause the effect observed at step 1, you also validate an alternative hypothesis. Correct. Empirically validated. Both outcomes are an empirical validation. That's what science offers. That's the scientific method. What did Duffy do? Oh, he referenced a plane for his measuring tool to weigh things. He also measured angles with respect to a planar surface. That's what he did. He measured Earth flat on multiple occasions and then said Earth can't be flat if you haven't got a map. Really? Well, my question stands. If Earth is, quote, not flat, says Duffy the dickhead, why did you measure it flat?
If they try to say these experiments...
They're not. They're measurements. Elevation angle measurement of the sun for a 24-hour period. That's not an experiment, you crayon-munching retard.
are not actual experiments.
They're not. You haven't observed a phenomena and then put into a suppositional cause and effect relationship statement, otherwise known as a scientific prediction hypothesis, and then actualize said hypothesis to see if your suppositional causal influencer actually causes the effect you're studying. You didn't do any of that.
But only observations.
No. Measurements of a flat Earth. You didn't just observe the sun. I mean, that would be pretty useless. Tune wave measurements in people's faces. Measurements of a flat Earth. My name is Nathan Oakley. You've heard my name before, Duffy. It was screamed into the Antarctic abyss. Where are the guns, Nathan? Did you not hear him? Yeah?
That is because they cannot reconcile our findings.
Reconcile? There's nothing to reconcile. You measured Earth flat. It's the end of the discussion. Shout out to Jardo for gifting 10 memberships. Really appreciate the support.
With a flat Earth. If they say that...
No. You can only put your data forward if you understand and acknowledge you measured Earth flat, Duffy. I'm asking you. If you say it isn't flat, why did you measure it flat with elevation angles? Why did you level your tool with respect to a plane of reference to be perpendicular to it? Now, if you're saying Earth isn't flat, are you throwing out those axiomatic principles used in your measurements? Because they are the measurements. The elevation angle to the sun for a 24-hour period was what got measured after levelling the tool used to gather that data to a plane of reference perpendicular to it. When you measured things, you measured their downward orientation differential with respect to a perpendicular plane of reference that you levelled the tool to in the first instance. It's the first thing you did. Levelled the tool. Now you're saying, oh, well, no, there is no level. We're on a ball. Okay. So you didn't measure an elevation angle along a ground that's flat. You're saying you didn't do that. Okay. So you didn't take any angle measurements to the sun then. So what did you do? Just observations, wanker? The thing that you're now trying to tar flat earthers as suggesting that you did when you say you did experiments that you didn't. Now, I'm not suggesting you just did experiments or observations by contrast that you're trying to strawman me with. No, my name's Nathan Oakley. The one that got his name, the only flat earth name yelled by a baller into the Antarctic snow. I say you measured Earth flat with elevation angle measurements because you did. It's not the first time I've said it. It's the 100th So what's the problem? Are you dense? Are you as stupid as Toon? He didn't seem to understand in, 100 times of having it explained to him? You're measuring Earth flat. Now, it's not like he responded to me, and it's not like I'm contacting him proactively to tell him this. You're proactively going to Antarctica to measure a flat Earth with angles. That's what you're doing. Then you're contacting me proactively about it to say, ha ha, we measured Earth flat with angles, Nathan, what have you got to say? And my response, well, for the 100th time, you're measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. Where are the guns? You see how the response is non sequitur, Duffy? Like, where are the guns, Nathan doesn't address the flat Earth elevation angles that you measured there?
Flat Earth does not make predictions.
That's because that's a reification fallacy. A flat Earth has no lips or brain to make predictions with. Predictions would be a necessity in formulating hypotheses, though. If you're going to formulate a cause and effect relationship suppositional statement, I'd say scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis, then you're going to be guessing what caused the thing you're studying to see if it does when you actually vary it to see if it causes it or not.
That is because making accurate and testable predictions...
I predicted you'd measure Earth flat, and my prediction came true.
Based on a flat Earth is...
Yeah, based on a flat Earth, you'll measure a flat Earth angle, and you did. Lots of them.
Impossible.
Right, what? So, are the flat Earth elevation angles measured by you, Keegan, Jaron, Toon? Are they not right? Should we shove that shit to the side now that you're saying you don't measure Earth flat with those elevation angle measurements of a flat Earth? You don't use them. Oh, well, that balls up your entire claim to be experiment then, because you're saying that you're not measuring a flat Earth for the elevation angle of a flat Earth that you definitely measured. Like I say, I've pointed this out 100 times while you were all there. Yeah? I'll just say it again. You're measuring Earth flat too. Where are the guns, Nathan? Yeah, that was the non sequitur response I got. Please let Duffy know. We'll count this as what? 101? I predicted you'd measure Earth flat and you did, Duffy. It sent one of your participants nuts.
Because a flat Earth does not exist.
So why did you measure it with elevation angles? Why did you level your tool for weight with respect to it then? Am I missing something? If it doesn't exist, neither do your measurements, because they're measuring a flat Earth. Are you a retard? So you relinquish all of your claim to be experiment then? You didn't measure any angles to the sun for a 24-hour period. That didn't happen. Okay? They didn't do any experiments, he's a liar. Oh, you did? What, measure a flat Earth with elevation angles? Which is it to be, the rock or the hard place? You did measure a flat Earth with elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours. Therefore, Earth's flat because you're measuring it. Or you didn't. It doesn't exist. We didn't measure it for 24 hours with the angles to the sun off a flat Earth. You didn't measure those angles. Therefore, your experiment didn't exist. See how you're caught between a rock and a hard place? Me, I don't care either way, Duffy. I literally couldn't be more relaxed. I'll go on camera just to show you. I couldn't be more relaxed about this, Duffy. It makes no difference to me. Same goes if you're in a tent to tellies. If you're pretending to be Antarctica. You alleged to be in Antarctica. All right. Well, then they measured a flat Earth with respect to the sun on the TVs that they looked at, because they weren't actually in Antarctica. Say you. All right, that's interesting. I don't care. They still measured Earth flat, though, even if it was to tellies that wasn't the real sun. What's that? They definitely were in Antarctica. They measured Earth flat with the real sun that they alleged to see in Antarctica. Whether or not they went there is inconsequential. Both measurements to tellies or to the real sun in Antarctica, they're both flat Earth measurements. It's an elevation angle. Couldn't be more relaxed about it. I'm not making proactive videos about Duffy. This is reactionary, by the way. Yeah?
You cannot make and test predictions based on something that is not real.
Okay. I mean, I'll take that in isolation. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a statement of truth. So therefore, you can only make measurements if it is real. Yeah, you did definitely measure elevation angles off a flat plane. Like I say, I pointed it out to 200 times. Maybe you weren't aware when my name was being screamed into the Antarctic snow. That was why my name was being screamed into the Antarctic snow. Because I, quote, tried to deflect with the measurements.
Maps of the globe exist.
Show one. And then show how south works on that map of the globe, end quote you. Can we put a compass on that map of a globe? I'm going to go with no. I'm pretty sure we're going to need a flat map for a compass to work on it. You seem to have used the term south repeatedly. So if we're going to take the directionality that you've alleged to use, and it's on a globe map, what's the name of this globe map that definitely won't function with a compass to go south? Maybe I'm just missing something, but Duffy's a bullshitter, a charlatan, a con man. He's not going to name this, quote, globe map, because there isn't one. And if there was, it wouldn't function. It wouldn't work with south. A flat, plain R direction, not down.
Because the globe exists.
Right, because the globe exists, there's a globe map that works. Circular reasoning much? No, the globe doesn't exist beyond the reification of a model created with flat Earth elevation angle measurements. Same ones you measured down in Antarctica and are now denying? From what I can glean, you're denying the base premise of your, quote, experiment that it isn't, because you're saying you didn't measure a flat Earth for the elevation angle measurements, that you definitely did measure a flat Earth for.
The entire globe model exists.
Does it? Oh, that's lovely. It was made using measurements of a flat plane, though.
Because the globe exists.
Sorry, circular much. The globe exists because the globe exists. No, it exists because you can measure flat Earth elevation angle measurements to things like Polaris, and then wrap those concentric flat circles around a spherical model. That's how it exists. I mean, I can concisely detail it without circular reasoning. I can detail how it actually exists in non-reifiable mathematics, derived from actual measurements of the surface of the Earth. The same measurements that he made of a flat Earth. The same measurements I pointed out to one of his compadres down there 100 times. And the same measurements that he told 50% of the globe-believing participants I tried to deflect with.
Countless globe predictions come true every single day.
No, there are no globe predictions to come true. And if they did, I would ascribe them to the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that created the globe. Any victory that the globe takes ever, Duffy, will be ascribed to the measurements of Earth that created the globe in the first instance. Those would be flat Earth angle measurements to stars. So you say the globe wins? Well, that's a win for flat Earth then. Unless you want to deny the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that created the globe, like you've denied the flat Earth that you measured in Antarctica. An essential part of your quasi-lie that it's an experiment, actually just a flat Earth measurement. The one I pointed out 100 times to one of the participants, and he told 50% of the other globe-believing participants I tried to deflect with. Those measurements of a flat Earth that you'll need to make the globe to suggest it's winning.
And countless future globe predictions will continue to happen exactly as predicted because the globe exists.
And is based on flat Earth elevation angle measurements of stars, therefore ultimately meaning we have a flat Earth victory in all instances. See this on screen? This is the equatorial plane that projects the celestial hemisphere I detailed earlier that Duffy was going on about. And I suggested that you'd have to measure the angle from within the globe. Unfortunately, my Hangout prompts are moving when I put the mouse on screen, so I won't. But you can see that the angles are projected from within this plane, through a globe, to points on a celestial sphere that was originally made with flat Earth elevation angles to create it in the first place. So if you want to say that the globe wins with its predictive capabilities as a model, then that win comes from an origin of a flat plane measurement, Duffy. So you can say you win, but I'll do what I did to your participants, McToon specifically, and point out that in order for you to claim your experiment is some sort of victory, look, Nathan, we've got the sun measured above a flat plane for 24 hours with elevation angles. Well, how wonderful. That'll be the 100th time I've pointed out to you, Toon, that you've measured Earth flat with those elevation angles. What's that? You want to know where the guns are? The guns? What's that? You're going to put the phone down on me and tell McKeegan that I've tried to deflect with measurements? Really? Maybe Toon will do better next time he's in Antarctica measuring a flat Earth. But in the meantime, maybe you can help me out here, Duffy. Because I got the phone put down on me when I was proactively contacted by half your participants. They were filming themselves while they screamed my name into the Antarctic snow with frustration over the elevation angle measurements that you absolutely measured down there, but now seem to be denying.
If a flat earther tells you that there is no accurate flat earth map,
Sorry, there is no flat Earth accurate map because they're all globe projections, distorting things. Like the azimuthal equidistant North Pole globe projection is a globe projection. It's not a flat Earth map. Now, the fact that you've straw-manned us saying that it's a globe map when I've spent 5 years telling every shill that's cooperated with you that that's not our map and stop claiming it, I mean, that goes by the wayside. I'm the only one getting my name screamed into the Antarctic snow. But apparently the words of Jeran the shill, who apparently has held this map up as a true model of the flat Earth for the last 5 years, no, he debunked it alongside me and then conveniently forgot about it. Did you not know that? Of course you did.
and there is no working flat earth model.
So what? Plenty of flat Earth measurements that work, though, like the ones you took. I'll just rely on those. No, I don't rely on any map. I rely on your measurements. The ones that if you say aren't from a flat Earth, then you don't have any measurements anymore. Like, at all. I mean, you're calling them experiments. But you don't have them if they're not off a flat Earth. What's that, they're not of Earth? Well, they're not Earth measurements then. What are you going to do, claim Earth's a sphere with them?
And that they don't make predictions?
I predict 99 times that Toon will measure Earth flat in Antarctica. I was right. What do you know? He proactively contacted me to tell me just how right I was. Then screamed my name into the snow, Duffy. You would have probably heard him. Definitely.
That is an implicit admission that a flat Earth does not exist.
Well, then why was it being measured? Am I missing something? If I'm admitting that Earth isn't flat, why are you measuring it flat? Why is Toon measuring it flat and then screaming about guns? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Fill me in. If it's not flat, stop measuring it flat, you stupid dickhead.
Because you can map things that exist. You can model things that exist.
Okay, if you're watching this, go and get a map. Any map, the closest map to you, and then tell me if it's globe-shaped. Tell me which direction on the map south or north or east or west is, and then tell me if it's pointing down in any way, shape or form. Tell me about the distances that you'll accurately measure on the map. Are those distances curving? Or are linear miles and kilometres the only thing we ever use in conjunction with the flat maps? So I'm going to say without exception that Ordnance Survey maps, as an example, by extension Google, who also use OS maps, are flat because they're flat. And when they're functionally utilised, they're utilised with flat Earth prerequisites like linear miles and kilometres, and flat Earth prerequisites like directionality. South, you mention? That'll be flat on a map. Any map, all maps, without exception.
And you can make very specific predictions that come true.
I predict that if I travel in that direction, let's call it south, on this map, that if I travel in a straight line at a given speed, I'll arrive at a given time, because I can calculate how fast in miles per hour I can travel in a linear distance on a flat map. Yeah, I can make those predictions based on flat Earth linear measurements of linear miles with odometers. People do it all day. In fact, if you've got a car with an odometer, you are, fact, measuring Earth flat with that odometer every time you get behind the wheel. What say you, Duffy? You saying miles aren't flat? I'm going to go with, yeah, they absolutely are, and so are the maps. So there aren't any globe maps, and any measurement on any map will require Earth be flat. Or the measurements won't be accurate because they won't be linear anymore. So we're going to need a flat Earth to map anything or travel or measure anything with respect to a map, Duffy. Okay?
Based on something that actually exists and is testable.
Okay, miles. There you go. Job's a good one. Earth proven flat with something that's testable, measurable, repeatable. All the bullshit words they like to infer make science. Yeah, we can definitely measure miles. They're linear and flat in all examples for everyone, without exception. I've just proven we've measured Earth flat, Duffy. So do you. You got an odometer? Can you drive, clown?
Created the final experiment to give both sides, flat Earth and globe, an equal opportunity to prove their side.
Oh, that's so kind of you. And you went out and measured Earth flat? Yeah? I told tune about it. He'd already measured it flat, and I'd already pointed it out to him 99 times. So it's nice that you gave us an equal opportunity, and then you made a nice go of it with your flat Earth measurements. What's that? You think you won? You think you proved the globe? Oh no, what actually happened is you went on to do the Lone Rangers final experiments. So not empirical. Need another one. No, you empirically measured a flat Earth. That's what you did, Duffy.
Nathan,
Only the globe side.
Yes.
not one flat earther needed to go on that expedition. They proved Earth was flat themselves.
Yeah, just measure a mile. You're proving Earth's flat. Oh, what's that? You want to see if it's flat with respect to Earth being a sphere? Oh, no worries. You can do that too. Let's just show you how you can do that. Let's have a look at this. What's this? Oh, this is Earth curve maths. This is where Duffy gets the misapprehension that if you deny Earth is flat, you can suggest that you've got a spherical surface for linear miles, flat Earth elevation angle measurements, weight, perpendicular to a plane of reference, all the flat Earth measurements that he called experiments down in Antarctica. Yeah? Meanwhile, the calculation that suggests we have an Earth curve, or sphericity to the surface, requires this. Can you all see what I'm pointing at? It says surface level. It's what we measure our height of eye above. And when we calculate a dip angle, the surface level will be parallel with eye level. So we need our eye level to be parallel with the surface level for this maths that implies that there's a marked with an X labelled horizon below the surface level, called Earth curve, when we see the side of our own head in an orthographic mathematics. So we see our Earth curve at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height measured off a flat Earth. What do you know? Even when you're suggesting we've got Earth curve, we have to measure surface level. A flat Earth. What's that? It bends? Oh, no, definitely not. Because the maths requires surface level be flat, so you can have eye level parallel with it. Do you understand that parallel things aren't bending? Because this surface level isn't bending, it's parallel with eye level, so that mathematically we can see the side of our own head and infer Earth curve below surface level that we just measured. Flat. For our height above it. And our parallel flat. Eye level. Parallel with the surface level we just measured. But all this calculating stuff to do with Earth, that can come after we measure surface level. Like Duffy measured surface level for the angles to the sun. Like Duffy measured surface level for perpendicular weight. Like Duffy travelled south on a plane. How far did you travel? Well, we'll only know if Earth's flat because the measurement is linear. How did he get there? Well, he flew in straight and level flight, measured with black box data that Duffy had pointed out to him by a flat earther named Brian. Measured life and death data, studying if people die, that says Earth's measured flat, with surface level and parallel flight level. So we know Earth's measured flat. Duffy here measures it flat, and so does everybody on his charlatan trip to Antarctica, allegedly. Maybe it was inside tellies, it doesn't matter. They'd still be measuring Earth flat, axiomatically, even if they're in a tent of tellies with their flat Earth, CGI, top of his game buddy that was there with them. I mean, no one's heard of that flat earther that was there. He's apparently top of his game with CGI. But there we go. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Who cares? They were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles in a telly. They were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles in a southward flat direction after travelling straight and level in a flight, that we can prove it with flight data, over the surface level, that they'd need to measure flat to infer that they've got some sphericity to prove with elevation angles of a flat surface when they're there. Yeah? We all clear how flat Earth must be for this twat Duffy? I hope so.
Returned with evidence supporting their position.
Yeah, you did. You came back with elevation angles and then waved them in Brian's face. Did you not see that? Maybe if you just ignore the flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurements and perpendicular planes of reference that you weighed things with respect to, maybe you just ignore all these flat Earth measurements. The globe's a globe, so it's a globe because it's a globe, and if it's a globe, right, Duffy?
The globe side returned with tons of concrete evidence.
Yeah. yeah. Elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours, proving Earth was measured flat. By all of you, without exception.
That both accurately matches the globe model.
The globe model that came from flat Earth elevation angle measurements from within the globe. No, definitely not. You can't match a globe model because you can't stand inside the equatorial plane inside the globe to have any of the angle measurements to the sun match the equatorial plane that the globe model is derived from. You weren't inside a globe model. Not on, just so we're all clear, so the audience is clear. We're not talking about ever being on a globe model. In a globe model on an equatorial plane for the angle measurements to the lights. You know, same angle measurements that I pointed out to 200 times. Yeah? Where are the guns, Nathan?
And also falsifies flat Earth.
Does it? No, you affirmed it with the measurements. If you falsified it, then all the measurements that you took are void. So which is it? Did you falsify the flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun that you provided us with? Which is it, dickhead? Rock or hard place? Either you deny the flat Earth elevation angle measurements you're claiming are experiments, or you get on your knees and acknowledge how flat Earth was when you measured it flat.
This brings us to the distance between meridians.
But distances are linear. If you're going to measure them, they'll be in miles or kilometres, and you will require a flat plane.
Specifically, southern
measurements, you affirm them. What is wrong with this guy?
He's been in a lot of pain. He's measured a flat Earth repeatedly, and now he needs to deny the flat Earth measurements that he's made that he said was experiments. Idiot.
meridians, which confirm that the Earth measures curved.
How did it measure curved exactly? Because the only measurements I saw were flat Earth elevation angle measurements of the sun.
Meridians, more commonly known as lines of longitude, are imaginary lines that...
So they're imaginary. Okay. Everyone, grab yourself a pen. Meridians, imaginary. Okay. So you didn't measure them then?
run north and south on the...
Sorry, north and south. Go and grab yourself a map, ladies and gentlemen. It's really easy to just prove how stupid and idiotic Duffy is. Go and get a compass. Yeah, the thing that measures directionality in respect to north and south. And slap it on a globe. Does it point south? Is that south? South is that way, you stupid retard. What you've just described is south being down. No. Axiomatically, you don't get to use south, you utter retard. Go and buy yourself a compass, Duffy. Yeah, you're telling an audience of people that you can teeter-totter a compass on a ball and call south the bottom of the ball? No, you're a retard, Duffy. You seem to have mental incapacities if you think that this on screen will in any way function with a compass.
Earth from pole to pole.
No. Obviously, Duffy has never used a compass before. Have you ever used a compass, retard? Hello? Go and buy a basic compass, you stupid clown.
And these lines of longitude
don't work with a compass on a globe.
Represent one of the most significant differences between the globe and a flat Earth.
How interesting. Meanwhile, you've measured Earth flat in Antarctica. This imaginary description had sod all to do with what you measured in Antarctica and called experiments. What you measured in Antarctica and called experiments were flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period. That's what you did.
As I already mentioned, on the globe, everything south of the equator.
You don't have south on a globe, you utter retard. Is it just me, or is this spastic? Inaccurately describing how a frigging compass works. If you're watching this man, know this. He doesn't know how a compass works. He doesn't understand the basic principles of a compass.
Gets closer and closer together, eventually coming to a single geographic point, the South Pole. But on a flat Earth, everything south of the equator extends into...
So this is not a flat Earth map. This is an azimuthal, equidistant, North Pole-centric globe projection, and the globe projection utilises a latitude and longitude grid that requires Earth be measured with Polaris as a flat plane for the basis of this map. It's a globe projection derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris. So what's Duffy actually doing here? He's burning a straw man, saying that this globe projection fails. Okay, your globe projection fails. No worries. Can we rely on the measurements you took down in Antarctica and called experiments instead of this straw man you're burning? Yeah, I'll rely on the measurements you took, because they proved you measured Earth flat, Duffy. Don't need anything else. Your straw man failed the first time. It failed when we made it fail, when we tested it 10 years ago.
To a larger and larger area indefinitely. Here, flat earther Eric Dubay correctly assert what lines of longitude would do if we live on a globe versus a flat Earth.
If the Earth were a globe, lines of longitude would bubble out at the equator while converging at the poles, whereas if Earth is an extended plane, lines of longitude should simply expand straight outwards from the North Pole.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I've watched enough of Eric Dubay for long enough to know that this video is from about 8 years ago, and he's in reading Robotham. This is directly reading from Robotham's book, isn't it? When you say Eric Dubay says this, you mean Eric Dubay read it from someone else's book, which he will have said on this video. He'd have pointed out where he got the source information from. Misrepresentation by charlatans and scumbags who measure Earth flat and then say it can't be flat.
So which is actually the case?
And that is the question. Which is actually the case?
Is it? Sounds like a false dichotomy to me. I mean, I'm not really into any of these questions. I don't care. I know we measure Earth flat. You measured it. So thanks. You measured Earth flat for us, Duffy. Well done. No questions needed. What's that? You've still got questions? You still got more experiments? Well, then go and gather up some Lone Rangers.
Do lines of longitude get closer together south?
Who cares? You measured Earth flat, Duffy. I just need to know, do you deny those flat Earth measurements you took? Like, every time I pointed them out to your compadre who's down there, he started screaming my name and saying I was deflecting with measurements and stuff. Are you going to be an abject coward like Toon? I just want to know. Are you actually going to address what Toon could not? Are you going to scream my name into the Antarctic snow when you revisit there to do some more experiments? Or are you going to address the flat Earth elevation angle measurements you all took in Antarctica? Because I'm not relying on false dichotomies or maps or models. I'm relying on your measurements of a flat Earth you took. Now, you can deny them if you like, and say, I don't accept that these are flat Earth measurements I've made in my experiment, that it isn't. You can do that. You can deny everything you measured down in Antarctica. Down being south by a compass. Yeah, retard.
South of the equator, eventually converging at a geographic South Pole? Or do they die?
South will never be down. So if you want to stack up this false dichotomy, will South ever be down? No. So if this is the false dichotomy that you want to stand by, you want to die on this hill, do you, dickhead? Okay. So the false dichotomy, according to this dickhead, is if we get converging point south, South is never ever down. South's that way. Okay. So your false dichotomy seems to have fallen on the side of the azimuthal equidistant North Pole-centric globe projection. That's still not a flat Earth map. Still needs flat Earth angles to the stars, though, doesn't it? Yeah, Polaris specifically? Yeah, we're still measuring Earth flat. You're measuring Earth flat. Toon measures Earth flat. We all measure Earth flat, Duffy.
Diverge from one another, constantly increasing the distance between them as you head further south.
South's flat. So if we're heading south, we're heading in a flat direction. So that's it. So if your false dichotomy is involving whether or not we'll travel south, flat wins. Look at a compass, you stupid dick.
Now, I need to mention something very important throughout this video, and that is what's known as the burden of proof.
There's no burden here. There's no claim to support. There's only the measurements. I'm not making a positive assertion that needs to be backed by evidence when I say Earth's measured flat. That's not a contentious statement. It's an axiomatic principle you are using. Now, you can deny the axiomatic principle of a flat Earth to measure elevation angles with respect to the sun. You can deny that if you like. That'd make you an idiot. It would also mean that you denied every aspect of your claim to be experiments that they're not. If you deny the flat Earth that you measured for them.
When someone makes a positive claim...
Not a positive claim. You measured Earth flat. That's a statement of fact, not a positive claim. I'm not suggesting that you measured Earth flat. I pointed it out 100 times. It's not me making a claim when I say, Toon, you measured Earth flat. 100 times.
The burden of proof lies with them to give evidence of and attempt to prove their positive claim.
Oh, really? Why did you go to Antarctica then? I see. So it's on us. But you spent hundreds of thousands of pounds because the burden was on us, was it? It sounds like you're mentally retarded then. If the burden's on us, get on with your day. Don't worry about it. Don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Antarctica to measure elevation angles off a flat Earth to then say Earth ain't flat. That seems really stupid to me. If it's my burden... Oh, really? It's my burden? Okay. I'll rely on the measurements that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on then. If it's my burden. That's my standard. Your measurements. I'll rely on them. What's that? You want to deny them now? Okay. You deny your experimental flat Earth measurements then. No worries. You just pick which one you want. Rock or a hard place. I don't mind which.
That's what I said. We didn't have to go anywhere. They did it all by themselves.
But the burden's on me, Neil. I needed to go. Why did you spend hundreds of thousands of pounds then, you complete retard? Just so you could have your participants screaming my name into the snow. I was there in spirit. At least my name was, wasn't it? Verbally. Echoing around the Antarctic Peninsula. Yeah? Did you hear it? Did my name echo, Duffy? Answers on a postcard.
If you make any positive claims, you have the burden of proof, right? If you say the Earth is flat, yeah, you have a burden of proof.
Okay. Prove you're in Antarctica. You say you're in Antarctica. People say you're in tellies. I don't care either way. I say you all measured Earth flat with elevation angles. When I put it to one of the participants, he started screaming my name and saying that I tried to deflect with those measurements I pointed out. He didn't say the burden was on me. He didn't say my evidentiary standard was incorrect. He said, quote, he tried to deflect with measurements. Earth's measured flat, ladies and gentlemen. They all know it.
Proof for that, absolutely.
Austin is correct here. When a flat earther claims the Earth is flat, that is a positive claim.
I see. Okay. What if I say you measured Earth flat for your quasi-experiment that it isn't? Is that a positive claim? Okay, tell me I'm wrong. Say I didn't measure elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours to say Earth's a sphere with it. Go on. I dare you deny the flat Earth axiomatic measurements you took. Because then you've got nothing, Duffy. Literally nothing. If you don't have the elevation angle measurements of a flat Earth you measured, you don't have anything whatsoever to make your spurious claim of experimentation. Without your flat Earth measurements, you've got nothing, dickhead.
And so the burden of proof means they need to provide evidence that...
Okay, no worries. I'll give you your measurements that you took. You don't like those? Maybe take Toon's. You don't like Toon's flat Earth measurements? Take McKeegan's. I don't mind which you use. Any of them. I don't mind. Any of them. You don't like the elevation angles at all? Okay, what about a reference to a plane when you're perpendicular way stuff? You've got to be perpendicular to a plane of reference when you're level, tool. End quote. Goggle eyes. Yeah? 3 out of 4 of your participants measured Earth flat in various different ways. There's my evidence. What's that? You want to deny your own measurements because I've used it as an evidentiary standard to prove Earth's measured flat by you? Go ahead. I don't mind. No worries. Deny it. Deny your own measurements. Which is nice. Is it the Rock? Is the Rock more comfortable? Oh, you prefer the hard place of getting on your knees and acknowledging how flat you measured Earth? Get on your knees and acknowledge how flat those elevation angle measurements were that you took and called experiments, Duffy. Or deny them.
That the Earth is flat. If you've noticed that flat earthers essentially refuse to do
Stereotyping fallacy.
this,
What? Flat earthers refuse to say Earth is flat. Earth's flat, we measure it flat, you measure it flat. Toon measured it flat, McKeegan measured it flat. We all measure it flat. Distances are flat, flight levels are flat, sea levels are flat, Earth curve maths requires Earth be flat. It's all flat, Duffy. There's no denying it.
Nathan,
your observation
Dead.
did he say something about repeatable in the beginning? Because if the burden of proof is on us, I'm going to appeal to everybody that was in Antarctica. They measured Earth flat. So there is my proof. Okay?
Yeah.
is correct. When you ask a flat earther for evidence that the Earth is flat,
Sorry, what's that you say? You want my evidence that Earth's flat? Oh, no worries. I'll give you the measurements down in Antarctica. Down being a flat direction south that isn't capable of description with sphericity. Nevertheless, when we travel south a flat direction and measure how far we went in linear miles or kilometres, and we travel there on a plane that maintains straight and level flight, measured with respect to sea level, life and death, black box data affirming these facts. When we get there, we'll measure elevation angles with respect to a plane of reference. And if it's not an angle anymore. So there you go. That's what I'm going to rely on. Every single thing you did when you travelled to Antarctica, I rely on all of that. That's what I rely on as my evidence.
they will undoubtedly revert to talking about the globe.
No, I reverted to talking about straight and level flight. That was presented to you personally by Brian, if memory serves me. Yeah. So you're lying, because that is not what happened. Specifically with you when Brian detailed black box data. And memory serves me, you even wanted to talk to him about it specifically. So you're a lying shitbag and the devil's waiting for you. Because that is not what you have inferred when you gave this stereotyping fallacy to your audience in this video. That's not what flat earthers have done. We've relied consistency on the flat earth elevation angle measurements that you've all made. Yeah? We've talked about the black box data that you'll be gathering up in the flights that you take to get to Antarctica and arrive having travelled straight and level. In level flight. Now, we've shown this data to our audiences. We've provided it many, many times. And when we talk about your gathered data, I don't need to present anything. I just wait for you to deny it. Hey, you want to deny the elevation angles are taken from a flat plane of reference for it to be an angle? Okay. So you haven't got any angles anymore then? Okay, well, that's the end of your argument. Oh, what, you want to keep those measurements of a flat Earth, but say they're not of Earth until after you've done your calculations, and then they're of a curved surface that wasn't measured. You measured it flat, but that wasn't the ground, right?
No, the problem is when we bring up their measurements that they took, they'll claim we deflected with measurements.
I don't care what they claim. I'm not the one making proactive videos about the final experiments, am I?
So they have not satisfied the burden of proof for their positive claim.
I don't have a claim. I don't care. I literally don't care. You've got a religious belief in being on a spinning water ball flying around the sun. That's your belief, your burden, your concern. I don't have any concerns about this, Duffy. What's that? Oh, I'm saying Earth's flat. No, you measure Earth flat, Duffy. Maybe you didn't hear me the first 120 times. You measure it flat, dickhead. That's not my burden to satisfy. You either accept your own friggin' measurements or you don't. I don't care. Don't accept your own measurements of a flat Earth then.
That the Earth is flat. And they also go out of their way to avoid making positive claims in an attempt to escape the burden of proof.
I'll accept the burden. I accept the burden of proof. The burden is on me. I'll lay down the standard of evidence to satisfy my burden of proof that Earth is measured flat. I'm going to offer all of the measurements and journey to Antarctica as my evidence. There you go. I've taken up the burden. I'm going to fulfill my burden. I offer Will Duffy's measurements and McToon's measurements of elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period to prove beyond all doubt that Earth has been and will always be measured flat. That's my standard, okay? I accept this burden.
And to avoid having to provide any evidence.
No, I just provided it. I provide Duffy's, McKeegan's and McToon's elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period off a flat Earth. They are my standard. They're also your standard, unless you want to deny them now. I mean, that's entirely up to you. If you want to deny, you've got them in the bank. You've got your flat Earth measurements called experiments, which are not in the bank. Now, you can double those down and you can risk it all for the speedboat.
Despite their calculated effort at not making any positive claims,
I claim Duffy measured Earth flat with elevation angles in Antarctica. There you go, I've made a positive claim. Prove me wrong.
they still make quite a few of them.
What, like you measuring flat Earth, Toon measuring flat Earth, McKeegan measuring flat Earth, Jaron measuring flat Earth, and you having a CGI expert on the flat Earth side? I think those are all facts. Yeah, they're all facts.
One of the most repeated claims from flat earthers is that the Earth measures flat.
Yeah, elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period. Should we define what an elevation angle measurement is so we're all clear, as it is absolutely the case that they did measure elevation angles. There's no denying what they measured. The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. I'm pretty sure that's a fairly concise definition of an elevation angle measurement and its prerequisite requirement for, quote, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. In this case, you, Duffy.
This is another positive claim made by them.
No, it was a cited definition. I'll give you a different one. Angle of elevation. From Angle of Elevation Formulas, Definitions and Examples. The angle of elevation is the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight which is above the horizontal. It is formed when an observer looks upwards. Suppose you're standing at the terrace of a building and looking upwards at the sky or at the sun or moon. The angle thus formed between your height from the ground level and the line of sight formed is called the angle of elevation. So I'm pretty certain that by definition we're going to need either, quote, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, or, quote, ground level for these measurements that I've just defined, and they are measurements you made, Duffy. Do you have another one? The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
And you can't listen to Flat Earth content very long before hearing them boldly state this claim that the Earth measures flat.
But no, I quoted sustainable by design. What about mathspace.co.uk, an educational tool used to teach children? Quote, an angle of elevation is the angle from the lower object to the higher one, while an angle of depression is the angle from the higher object to the lower one. both angles are measured with respect to the horizontal plane of the reference object. That's 3. That's not me making stuff up or making a positive claim. It's me defining the measurements you made in Antarctica of elevation angles. What about, what's this? Tassadia. Altitude angle is the vertical angle between the projection of the sun's rays on the horizontal plane of Earth's surface. That's 4. Sorry, Duffy, you're a charlatan, a scammer, a liar, a bullshitter. You're now projecting the idea that I've made a claim about measuring Earth flat. No, I've defined the angles that you measured in Antarctica as requiring a horizontal plane of Earth's surface.
Right.
To prove the Earth is flat, you don't need to speculate what's beyond.
Why are you cutting to Dave? Oh, is it because he shills for this map that you've been burning the whole time? Yeah, we've been telling him for years to stop doing that. All Dave did was broadcast to a greater audience than my own that they weren't watching me. That's what Dave did. He's a scumbag also, just like you. He also gives you the advantage of propping up this flat Earth model map in the background of an app that Dave charges for. Yeah, like I say, we've pointed out to this scammer, charlatan, grifter, conman Dave Weiss not to do that for many years. Because we didn't want to be strawmanned by assholes who lie about Earth being measured flat with elevation angles when they're defined as such. Yeah, so that you wouldn't just hold up this straw man immediately afterwards like you are doing.
60 degrees south, you don't need to speculate.
Yeah, you don't, because south is a flat Earth only direction, Dave. Let's see if Dave points that out.
What the sky is made out of.
Sorry, south is a flat Earth direction. Dave didn't point it out. He subverted that fact of a flat Earth prerequisite with what we don't need to do with the sky. Dave's a useless twat. If you are subscribed to Dave the Useless Twat, unsubscribe from him immediately. He's not helping. He's hindering you if you're a flat earther trying to promote the idea, because Dave shills for garbage that's proven to be wrong. And when it comes to flat earth proving prerequisites like south, Dave says you don't have to look at the sky rather than pointing out the south can only exist on a flat earth.
You just need to measure the Earth. And
yeah, with elevation angles that I just defined 4 times.
The Earth measures flat.
So, well, why didn't Dave give a measurement then? Me, I defined 4 flat Earth prerequisites of an Earth surface that is flat and planar for an angle to be measured from it, like done in the example given by Duffy. Saying Earth's measured flat and then actually not following it up with an actual measurement is useless.
I don't know what this thing was in Antarctica. I don't know. I have no idea. But all I know is the Earth is measured flat.
We'll shove it right in your faces. It's flat. It measures flat. It photographs flat. It is flat.
The Earth measures flat. Literally.
Yes, everywhere you measure on this Earth is going to be flat.
Okay, so yeah, the Earth is measured flat.
Earth looks flat, tests flat, and measures flat.
Everything's measured flat.
The Earth is measured flat.
The Earth measures flat.
The surface of the Earth, again, measures flat.
The Earth is measured flat.
No matter what it is, the Earth still measures flat.
As I said, this is one of the most repeated claims by flat earthers.
Well,
where were we? How come you didn't use any
he didn't use me.
of
Meanwhile,
the stuff we talk about here?
Yeah,
Funny.
he used me. Meanwhile, you measure Earth flat, Duffy. My examples were specific. Yeah, it got my name screamed into the Antarctic snow now, didn't it? Notice you didn't use that example. Why didn't you use the example down in Antarctica? Maybe you'd like to ask yourself that if you're an audience member watching Duffy's videos. Why didn't he use the example that was screamed into the Antarctic snow? He tried to deflect with measurements, end quote. Did you not want to use that one? I mean, it was literally screamed about in Antarctica. You got Antarctica behind you, but you don't want to use the only example that happened there. Why not? Do I scare you? Yeah, with your own very own measurements of a flat Earth. Why wouldn't you use that one, Duffy?
So who has the burden of proof here?
Who cares? You measured Earth flat down there. Who cares who the burden is? You measured it flat.
If you make any positive claims, you have the burden of proof.
Despite having heard this Earth measures flat claim myself countless times, something is glaringly missing.
Well, the measurement. Like, you can't just say the surface measures curved and then just leave it at that. You actually need to provide a curved surface measurement. So, for example, if I put up on screen the curved surface measurement... Oh, no, it's got a surface level in it. Yeah? So, when I say Earth's measured flat, I give you this, Duffy. Your Earth curve maths. Do you see this? It says surface level. It's measured for height. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height of surface level. It's right there in your own maths. Now, what this is a hostile witness, yeah? Hostile evidence. Because when I say Earth's measured flat, I point you to your use of surface level measurement, Duffy. So I ask you, Duffy, do you deny the surface level you must measure to infer a horizon below the surface level called Earth curve? Are you denying this measurement, Duffy? You seem to be putting the onus on me, like I've got a burden. Oh, really? Well, my burden is your burden, it would seem, Duffy. Because here we are with your inference that Earth's a sphere, and right there in the maths, we've got to measure Earth flat. There it is, surface level. Unless you want to deny it. Did you want to deny the base principle of Earth curve geometry and say, nah, I'm not going to measure surface level. I don't want to. I don't want to measure Earth flat for this. Nah. Oh, okay. We'll just take this off screen then, shall we, Duffy? Yeah, you don't want to acknowledge and accept that we measure Earth flat. We. Yeah, you and me, Duffy, right? We. I'm going to pretend. No, I'm just going to say, I believe in a globe. I stand shoulder to shoulder as a globe believer. For this example, with Duffy here. I'm going to be a globe believer with you, Duffy. You've won. You've made me a globe believer. Now, as a globe believer, I'm on your side. Aren't I generous? Just like Jaren. Let's pretend I'm just like Jaren. I've moved over to the ball too, Duffy. You've won. You converted me. Now I'm back on the ball. I just need to confirm something with you because I'm a bit confused. Why are we measuring surface level flat for our height above it? Can you just clarify? It's the first thing. I'm back on the ball. Duffy's won. I'm a fully paid up, converted globe believing wanker now. Okay. You can all take it as read. Nathan Oakley believes we're on a ball. He just needs to clarify something. It's his first question as a newly fledged globe-believing wanker. I just need to know this. And Duffy's here to help me, aren't you, Duffy? It's what you wanted. You wanted me back on the ball. I'm back on the ball with you, Duffy. I'm back on the ball. I just need my guru, Duffy, to explain this surface level that we'll be measuring flat for our height above it. Can you do that for me, Duffy? I'm a new globe believer, and as a new globe believer, like Ranty or Jaren, I expect you on your fucking knees, acknowledging just how flat we'll be measuring Earth flat, to believe in this ball that we've got. It's below surface level horizon, right? Below the surface level that we'll measure for our height. Can you explain this to me, Duffy? Because I want to be on a ball with you. This is what it was all about, right? Getting me back on the ball. You played me. You played a quote. And now I'm saying you've won. Just a little niggly little thing that we need to deal with now. I'm back on the ball with you. Yeah? Let Duffy know. You won. Nathan said he's back on the ball. He just needed a little bit of clarity about the surface level that we'll have to measure when we believe that we're on a ball, Duffy. Yeah, this surface level. Is it not level? Is this a bending level? How do we get our height above it if it's bending? Is the eye level still parallel with it if the surface level bends? I'm just a bit confused. Maybe this charlatan can explain it to me as a new globe believer. Yeah? So I just need to understand why we're measuring Earth flat as a globe believer, Duffy. Can you do that for me? I'm sure there's people in your comments letting you know at Nathan Oakley sent me. To find out why we measure Earth flat in Earth curve maths, Duffy. Yeah? You're going to help me out, aren't you, mate? You're a good stand-up guy. And you're going to help out the newest globe believer on the block. Nathan Oakley just wants to know, as a globe believer, a fellow globe believer, you and me, we're buddies, Duffy. Buddies. Yeah? You're my pal, Duffy. And as a pal, I just need to know why we measure surface level. Why would that be? Why am I getting 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height of a flat Earth? I'm a bit confused. Maybe Duffy can help us all out. You can help us all out. We can all be globe believers together. And when we understand the flat Earth measurement that we make, it will help us in our globe belief, Duffy. You'll be helping everyone believe more. We can believe this better if you understand the measurement off surface level, Duffy. So you break it down for me, Duffy, because you seem to be implying that I'm just some flat earther who's got excuses. No! Your commenters are telling you, right? Nathan's a globe believer now. He just needs explaining why we measure Earth flat. Just a little bit of surface level, right?
What would any rational person expect to accompany a claim that the Earth measures flat?
No, I want to know why when we measure a ball, do we need our height off a surface level? Why do we need a parallel eye level with surface level? On a ball, Duffy. I'm a ball believer now. I'm not one of those crazy numpty flat earthers asking why we measure Earth flat. No, I'm a newly fledged ball believer. I saw you go down to Antarctica. I mean, I mentioned to one of the participants that you were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles, and he didn't answer me, Duffy. Yeah? Now, I don't want to seem disingenuous. I'm a new globe believer. I wanted to be converted by McToon. I asked him, why are you measuring Earth flat for the 100th time? And he said, quote, he tried to deflect with measurements. I mean, that didn't help me get to the ball, but you, Duffy, you've done it. You've succeeded. You've got me back on the ball. We just need to know what this is all about, this parallel eye level and surface level malarkey. This measuring our height off surface level. Measuring, Duffy. Measuring. It just seems like the globe belief. I mean, I want it. I really do want it to work off of the surface level measurement. You can explain it to me, Duffy. I'm sure you're that good a guy.
That's right. Measurements.
They're going to trim all that out, Nathan.
You know.
Say again?
They're going to trim all of that out, how you are now a ball earther. Have fun.
I couldn't give two shits.
No, you're
Neil.
so good. You're so good, though. That was excellent. Like how the fake flat earthers come into some of the, like, here sometimes it's like, oh no, you know, I'm a flat earther. I really just want to know, like, what these globe maps are about. Like,
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You did it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. I'm just here to learn, Duffy. That's all I'm here for. I'm just here to learn about the surface level we measure. That's all I need. I just need to learn. That's what I'm here for.
Eli's right, though. You sound perfect.
I'm just here to learn about the surface level we'll measure for the ball. I'm just here to learn. And you're all going to help me out, right? I'm the newest ball believer. McToon! It's only the 101st time. McToon, I just need to understand why we're measuring Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements and your 10K challenge in Antarctica. I'm the newest ball believer. Can you tell me why we measure Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements? It's only the 101st time. The first 100 times, I was a flat earther then. Now I'm a ball believer, and I just need to know, from one ball believer just trying to learn, from McToon, my new buddy. Can you tell me why we measure Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements in your 10K challenge in Antarctica, please, McToon? One ball believer to another, I'm just trying to learn. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, thanks, Duffy. You're my new guru. I can't wait to find out. Anybody else excited about finding out why we measure surface level flat? I'm truly excited.
No evidence. Joy. To back their claim.
My claim? Yeah, those stupid flat earthers. What do they know about measuring elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours? We ballers, we know how to measure Earth flat. Those flatties don't know how to measure Earth flat. We know how to measure Earth flat. Us ballers with our elevation angles to the sun. Our globe flat Earth measurements that we measure with elevation angles. That's us. Us together. You, me and McToon all measuring Earth flat. Us ballers.
But flat earthers never seem to give any flat earth measurements.
No, the scumbags, they're constantly stealing the globe's flat earth measurements, aren't they? Totally outrageous, I agree with you, Duffy. What a friggin' outrage. These flat earthers constantly fail to provide any measurements. All they ever do is provide the flat earth measurements that the globers use. It's an outrage. We've got to stop them. I think we should come up with a catchphrase like, don't use our stuff. Tell those flat earthers, don't use our flat earth measurements to prove Earth's flat. Get your own flat earth measurements. Stop using the globe's flat earth measurements. Don't use the globe's surface level to prove Earth's flat. We use the flat surface level to prove Earth's a globe. How dare you flat earthers use our flat earth elevation angle measurements in Antarctica? Go and get your own flat earth elevation angle measurements. Don't use our globe earth flat earth elevation angle measurements. We'll be using the globe earth flat earth elevation angle measurements to prove we're on a globe after we measure Earth flat. But we'll be measuring it flat. Us globers, not you flat earthers.
They just make the claim that the Earth measures flat and leave it at that.
Yeah, they don't go and get the measurements from Antarctica to the sun for 24 hours like us globe believers go out and get the flat earth measurements. We're actually out on boots on the ground getting these bloody flat earth measurements as globe believers. We're doing it. We're actually making the flat earth measurements as globe believers. What have you flat earthers ever done? Have you ever measured the flat earth like I have to prove a globe with it? No, you have not. You've never measured Earth flat to go ahead and prove a flat globe with it, have you? I have. I measure flat earth to prove a globe all the time because I'm the newest flat earth globe believing guy. Make no mistake.
And I'm not the only one who has noticed this.
When flat earthers say that they think that the earth is flat and they're like,
where are the guns, Nathan? Where are the guns? Yeah, I asked you 100 times though, didn't I, Toon? Why are you using flat earth elevation angle measurements in your 10k challenge? But now I'm asking you for the 101st time. This time you're my buddy, right? We're friends this time. Why are we measuring Earth flat with elevation angle measurements in 10k challenges on a ball? Can you make this make sense for me? I'm a new ball believer. I'm also asking for a load of friends that are also ball believers. They all need to know. Just asking for a friend.
Like, they say things like, Earth is measured flat.
Yeah, like in your 10k challenge, Toon. As a ball believer, I fully respect and understand and acknowledge your flat earth measurement that you made as a ball believer. I think it was excellent. Shoulder to shoulder, I'm with you all the way. Your 10k challenge flat earth measurements are epic. Same with the ones that you made in Antarctica. I, as a ball believer, fully accept and understand and appreciate how Earth must be measured flat to calculate a ball with it. Like the flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun in Antarctica that you took and waved in Brian's face. I mean, we just say that. I say we. It's not me anymore. I'm a ball believer now, Toon. Like you. Right? I just need to figure out why we're measuring Earth flat as a ball believer this time. When I asked you as a flatty, I appreciate that you just wanted to point out that I'm deflecting with measurements as a flatty. Well, now I'm a ball believer. Can you explain it to me now as a ball believer why we measure Earth flat with elevation angles?
You ask them, can you provide the measurements? They never can.
No, we keep getting them from you, don't we, Toon? It's an outrage we keep getting those flat Earth measurements from you. Yeah, and I'm with you 100% as a baller now. Stop getting flat Earth measurements from ballers. Yeah? Just because Toon has actually gone and made the effort to go and get these bloody measurements of a flat Earth doesn't mean you can use them, flatties. Stop using globe believers' flat Earth measurements. It's an outrage.
But, you know, they like to say it's measured flat, but when you ask for these measurements, you never get any.
Yeah, bloody outrage. We just keep using yours. How dare we? We just keep going to the globe maths. We just keep pointing out surface level in the globe maths, don't we? This isn't flat earthers maths. To use the flat earth measurement that's in it. Lazy. These lazy flat earthers keep using the globe believers' flat earth measurements, and it's not fair.
Monkey Cat Pat Pat says no matter what you do, it's always measured flat. Yeah, somehow, but they never produce these measurements.
No, you do. Yeah, thanks.
Because no person listens to Earth is measured flat and then thinks, oh, okay. Right? That's not it.
Nah. I mean, as a globe believer, I'd take them to the surface level that I'm asking about as a new globe believer, right? Why do we need this? Surface level, right? Why does it have to be parallel with eye level? Why do we have to measure our height off the surface level? Why do we take dip angle measurements from the parallel eye level to infer that there's a horizon below surface level? All of this, to me, just suggests that we're measuring one thing and one thing only. Surface level. Like the surface level in McToon's elevation angles in his 10K challenge, or the ones he measured in Antarctica. The bloody lazy flat earthers just keep stealing the surface level that globers use. Outrageous.
That's not the end of it. Right? That's the claim. Next, show the measurements.
Our Earth is not a planet. It says Earth is measured flat as your heart is. Nathan Oakley, you fear most, don't you? You lie, you fear Nathan Oakley. This seems like a Poe. Are you a Poe? So the
That wasn't a no. That wasn't a denial. Do you fear Nathan Oakley? Somebody asked me if I fear McToon.
Do you fear McToon?
No.
whenever a flat Earth is you know, they like to say this. Whenever they say that, the next thing is, okay, let's see the.
You're scared of me, aren't you, Toon? You fear me. Good.
Petrified.
Measurements. Right? Just saying things.
No, I'm not saying you measure Earth flat 100 times, am I? I'm not just saying it. Yeah, people don't get away with just saying something that's incorrect 100 times to an opponent and then laughing in their face. Not just saying anything. Point out how you measure Earth flat too. That's why you're scared of me. Because I make a mockery of your entire existence, don't I?
Is not anything. You actually have to do the work. You have to provide the measurements. So
the Earth measures flat. Can we get back to that?
Oh, sure.
Did you ever
can you send the measurements, please?
Well, I can't go give you measurements for you, partner. You got to do that yourself.
Yeah, you specifically made the claim that the Earth measures flat. Now you have the burden of evidence to support that claim.
See, Toon was right. Lazy flat earthers. He just told Toon he had to go and measure Earth flat. I mean, I now see it. Now I'm a globe believer. I can completely see how frustrating that would be. You're asking that flat earther, go and get some flat earth measurements. And what he did was basically what I used to do. Turn around and say, you measure Earth flat, Toon. I'll use yours. Outrageous. We've got to stop this. You and me, Toon, together, we're going to stomp this out. Stop using our flat Earth measurements. We want those to prove a globe. We're going to stamp it out together, Toon, you and I.
Go ahead.
No, that's not correct. You have the burden of...
I mean, you didn't present any measurements, so I...
Yeah, Toon presented flat Earth measurements, not you. Yeah? You go and get some. Toon did. Toon went and got the flat Earth measurements. He's put the legwork in. Stop stealing Toon's flat Earth measurements to prove Earth's flat. Outrageous.
What are we supposed to do with your non-measurement?
Exactly. You can't do anything with those non-measurements. Yeah? And as for using Toon's flat Earth measurements, that's just bloody lazy.
That's a lot when the Earth is measured flat, which is irrelevant. But you keep asking for measurements.
You say the Earth is flat, but don't have measurements of it.
You want complete measurements when it's being measured flat.
So you say, but don't have any measurements.
And it's all flat, right? It's all measured flat, or whatever you want to call it.
That's your claim. So now it's on you to present the measurements.
All right, so you're just gonna say nuh-uh. All right.
Shout out to Sensual Goat, who's gifted 5 memberships. Right, obviously this is cherry picked, but even with it being cherry picked, the people who are saying Earth's measured flat to Toon, why haven't you got any standard? I'll click out a character for a second. Right, as a legitimate flat earther, not being sarcastic, why aren't you saying to Toon with your elevation angle measurements when he's saying, well, what have you got for your measurements? You need to present something. Now, I knew when I said Earth is measured flat that it's just catchy, but it's empty and hollow unless you've got something to substantiate it with. Now, there's a reason they've been able to cherry pick this many examples of people like Mark saying Earth's measured flat, Dave saying Earth's measured flat, random Discord participants saying Earth's measured flat, and not a single example immediately following it. Now, don't get me wrong. That's what they've gone out and looked for. But if you're the one saying it, Dave, Mark, random Discord participant, you need to follow it up immediately with an example of Earth being measured flat. Now, if you're listening and going, oh, well, I haven't got one, and I don't understand how elevation angles are measured, no worries. Miles. Distance measurements are all linear, always, without exception. So just say miles. If you say Earth is measured flat and they go, how? Prove it. Give me a measurement. Say miles. One word. That's it. Done.
Right, next.
No, hold on. That's not enough. That's.
Go ahead.
I literally just came from 24/7 just to test my mic out, and got into a conversation where I did do that immediately. I literally brought up example of landing and taking off in an airplane to reach cruising altitude level parallel with sea level, and that's really all. I don't understand if you are saying that or giving real examples, if you're posting what you're posting in the chat, why they're not more pressed. He should not be able to find this many examples of people just saying it and not giving anything to follow.
Exactly.
Unless he's clipping it, which is worse.
Exactly. Yeah, well put. That's exactly what I was driving at. Perfectly well phrased, Eli.
It's a normal thing. That's a normal thing that is part of a debate, that you make a claim and then you have the burden of evidence. Now you have the burden of proof to show the measurements.
Yeah. You tell him, buddy, mate, pal. You tell him. Yeah? Stupid flat earthers. Yeah, they don't know how much we globe believers have sweated to measure Earth flat. Yeah? We've worked really hard as globe believers to gather these flat Earth measurements and data. And what have you got, you flat idiots? Nothing. You haven't measured Earth flat like we have.
Hold on.
Bring forth the measurement.
Hold on. It's funny to me. I know it's all cherry picked and they got what they wanted. But if anybody is listening, they know exactly where this not even argument, fact comes from. Flat Earth debate. I don't hear one person from Flat Earth debate being questioned by Toon or Duffy or any of them. Come here and ask us for the measurements. We'll give them to you.
I don't care. They don't have to come here. I don't want to impose that upon them. I'm not proactively contacting them. I'm not phoning them up from Antarctica. They're contacting us, right? No, yeah, the door's open if you want to come in. But I'm no pressure whatsoever. I don't care. You stay on a ball. I don't care. Yeah, I'm on a ball with you, measuring a flat Earth right alongside you. Yeah. With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. I'm back in the room.
Okay, that was for the audience, Nathan. I noticed a few new names I see in chat. So that's for the audience's purpose. Sometimes they don't put two and two together. So I got to lay it out for them. Not one Flat Earth debate panel member was questioned on this video because they know what would have happened. They would have gotten the measurements.
Yes.
And why didn't they pull Eli's out? I'm sure they went and got some people from 24/7 Discord. Why didn't they grab Eli's? Oh, strange. Yeah, they're petrified.
I say in chat that measured flat really threw a wrench in the whole debate, quote unquote. But I mean, like they're like attacking it.
Yeah, it ended the debate. You're absolutely right. That's a big monkey wrench we throw in there. You got to get the clip of Russell Crowe in Beautiful Mind when he's sitting down to play that game with that other dudes, the English guy. Petrified. He used a bunch of words. That's what they are. Petrified, mortified over you.
Right, well, if we're going to sit in silence, I'll be rounding out.
Are you connected back with Discord? What's going on? Discord, nothing to say today? So he says, are you scared, Nash? Are you scared, Duffy, McToon, and everybody else that went there?
Is everyone sad that I'm on the ball again? Is everyone sad?
Terrified, mortified, petrified of you, Nathan Oakley.
No reaction. No
Yeah,
one
but now
cares.
you're on the ball, so everybody should be happy now.
You can think of it as me being on the ball, yes.
Well, you're on a ball, but you still have that one glaring question that they need to ask.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get an answer. Now I'm on their side on that, obviously.
Great show, great video to pull apart. There was a few people I didn't recognize in chat. I'm noticing that more and more. Ballers were trickling 2016 arguments. Like, why can't I see Japan or something stupid like that?
I'm sick of too far arguments. It drives me up the wall.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to get. What time are we on for today?
The Burj Khalifa, they brought up yesterday. And it was kind of, I don't know. I just didn't know what to say about it. In all honesty, and that's brings me probably back to when I first started, and I was just looking for the answers to everything they had to bring me. There's no need for it, of course, anymore. But you know, how do you?
What's the
Answer it?
Burj Khalifa?
The Burj Khalifa. I'm pretty sure it's a mountain that you can see
mountain.
a sunset and then rise up.
Tall building.
I don't know.
Burj Khalifa's not a mountain; it's a tall building. In
Oh, you're
Dubai.
talking about the building where they could take the sunset and then they go on top of the building and they see it again? Yeah, that's what somebody was saying in chat the other day. Just not the building, but just about sunset. How when I go higher, I could see the sunset again.
Higher?
Higher?
Off a flat
Height?
plane?
Yeah, you end it right there. Height. Are we talking about height here?
Yes. What I went through in the live show, were you paying attention to the live show? I kept going back to the Earth curve maths, didn't I? Why? Well, because your height is off surface level. So when you go up the Burj Khalifa, you're going up with respect to a plane. Your height is measured off that plane. Now, to calculate where you're going to suggest that the sun has gone behind, it's below the horizon marked with an X and labelled horizon in the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculations after you measure your height off surface level. It's what I've asked Toon as a mate. How are we measuring this height off surface level in the Earth curve maths? What's that all about? I'm asking as a baller, of course. So, same thing, just rephrased for you. Are we measuring our height off a flat Earth for the height of the Burj Khalifa to infer that the sun's going behind a physical geometric sphere edge at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height off of a flat Earth? Because that's what they're asking you. Why does the sun go behind an observation point at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height off of a flat Earth?
Yeah, all those height measurements. Perfect.
I didn't know it was a building because, building has to be leveled first.
Yeah, and its height was with respect to sea level when you leveled the ground.
Yeah, it's game over.
There is nothing that gets measured in any of the globe examples that ever foregoes the requirement of a flat Earth to measure. There's no exceptions. Ed, Reg. Yeah, Reg. Reg Joe? No?
I might have came off mute by accident. That was a pain relief video. They're trying to get pain relief. But in so doing, they're just making us more joyous. How many times did they use flat Earth? Oh, the whole video.
Right, shall I round out? There's clearly not going to be a great deal of conversation.
I just wanted to point it out, like two of those conversations with Matone, they was actually discussing elevation angles. So they was just pointing out using elevation angles, you measuring the earth flat. So for Matone to say, show me the flat earth measurements was just like disingenuous. That's why those guys was laughing at.
Yeah. Well, obviously they've cherry-picked it so they could have the context they wanted. But yes, I'm well aware of the disingenuous nature of McToon. I've told him 100 times, quite literally, that he's measured Earth flat with elevation angles. Does it change anything? Does he suddenly suggest that, oh, right, I know we measure Earth flat, I'm the one who measured it? As pointed out 100 times. No, he just pretends like it doesn't exist. Sad.
Where was that taken from, Joe? Regular Joe? That was from in this Discord server or somewhere else?
I think that was on one of them was on his Discord, on his channel. I don't know if it was on the Discord, but I know it was on his channel. And I know with the guy, Mark, it was like three of them. And they was already discussing elevation angles. So like two of the ones that they clipped, they just clipped it pretty much like at the end, and then it's like he said, "Oh, well, show me the measurements." And they're like, this is what I'm explaining to you right now. So that's why they just laughed at him, like, you don't understand that you're measuring that it's horizontal, like. So that's why they just laughed. So they basically like clipped it before they like further explain how you measuring the Earth flat with the elevation angle. So it's like a conclusion. You know how Matone just cut them off anyway. He's like, well, show me the Earth, show me the measurements. Like, well, I'm explaining it to you right now. You're using elevation angles. You're measuring the Earth flat. But show me the measurements. Then they just laugh, like, okay, I'm gonna keep saying the same thing.
Yeah, head in the
Tune
sand.
is a disingenuous prick.
Yeah, we're sticking his head in the sand. Here's the measurements. Show me the measurements. These ones. Show me them. They're right here. Have a look at them. Show me the measurement. Idiot.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the gas pressure without containment. So you look outside, always dealing with existing gas pressure. And what they're doing, they're always dealing with flat Earth measurements. Never acknowledging them, just looking right past it, like we did for many years. We whistled right past it. Well, not all of us. Some people say they were saying it for years.
No, I used to say measure flat, calculate imaginary ball. Because I still say
They still say what?
no, I still say measure flat, calculate imaginary ball. I've said that for a long time now. Like, I'm not trying to say I came up with it, but you know, it's pretty simple to see.
Nah, the penny dropped for me with conspiracy cats when he told Nathan, "I'll give you a flat Earth." That's when it clicked. I was like, "Oh, he's saying that because he has to give us a. He has to." Somebody trying to say something?
No, that was me
mean
accidentally.
he'll
Sorry,
give
I
you-
was off mute. I was yelling at my wife that I'd sold a microphone. Sorry.
You mean he'll give you the flat Earth at the very beginning because that's what they're working with.
Yeah, he had no choice. That's when the penny dropped for me. I was like, "Oh my God, they can have no choice. It's flat. They gotta measure it flat. They gotta start from a flat Earth. How else are they gonna measure anything?"
Calculation.
Yeah, but a calculation is not a measurement. Measurements hold true.
As you say, oh dear.
What time is the book today? For the fourth time, I asked.
Well, whenever anyone gets here, should I round out? It is
Yeah,
very
but
quiet.
keep the door open.
Yeah, I will do. Okay, with that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panel for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.